Hear ye, hear ye. The Hamblen County Commission meeting is now in session. The Honorable Howard Shipley presiding. Please remain standing.
I want to take this opportunity to call the Thursday, August 18th, 2022, Hamblen County Legislative Body to order. And I'm going to ask Commissioner James Stepp if you would lead us in our prayer, please.
Let us pray. Most precious Lord and Father in heaven, we thank you Lord, for this day. Thank you Lord, for bringing us here together, Lord. With all the decisions that we make, Lord, we make it's the best and right decisions. Best for Hamblen County and for you, Lord. Pray for each and every one of us here in this room, Lord. Accept Christ as our Savior. Thank you, Lord, for the blessings and leading us. Pray for our youth. Pray for the sick. And most of all, pray for the lost. In Jesus' name that we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Stepp. Commissioner Goin, would you lead us in our pledge, please?
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Commissioners, if you have not already done so, be sure and turn your mics on. And at this time, we'll do the roll call. Hold on just a minute. We're having some technical issues here. Way to go out, Mr. Gold.
Why mine?
Randy, tell
You
me
know by
about
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy, tell me.
I'm in that group too.
Trying to cut y'all out of the herd.
That's what it is.
Some of our pads are shutting down on us. Okay. I have some bad news for you. We're going to have to do things off the board tonight, so that's going to take us a little while to do so. So, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Jeff Aker.
Here.
Chris Cutshaw.
Here.
Randy DeBoer.
Here.
Thomas Doty.
Here.
Tim Goins.
Aye.
Bobby Hahn.
Aye.
Tim Warner.
Here.
Joe Huntsman.
Here.
Eileen Arnwine.
Here.
Mike Reed.
Here.
Wayne Neesmith.
Here.
Howard Shipley.
Here.
Jim Stepp.
Here.
Taylor Ward.
Here.
14 present.
We do have a quorum present, so we are open for business. We have a very distinguished group of individuals with us tonight, and I'm going to ask Darrell Brady if he would introduce this group to us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's an honor to be here tonight. Tonight we have the Youth Leadership Hamblen County Group. This is a group of outstanding students who are juniors at either Marshtown East or Marshtown West. And we have a couple of our advisory board members not here tonight, Chris Cates, Mr. Stan Harville not here, but our Director of Schools, Arnie Bunch Jr., and we're so thrilled because what better person to talk about leadership to a leadership class than our new Director of Schools. And he's here with us tonight. And at this time, I'd like to ask all of our students to stand up so that everybody will know who you are. This is the largest class we've had. Meeting outside to visit a governing body, so we're honored to be here with you, and we thank you for all you do for the county and our school system. One of the components of this class is Civic Engagement. They have the opportunity throughout the year to visit our county commission meeting, our city council meeting, a school board meeting, They have an opportunity to learn about economic development in this community. We'll have a visit to TCAT. We'll have a session on applying for college, and then we have a session on business etiquette, and we get to learn how to use the spoon and the knife and fork. So again, thank you for what you do, and we are tremendously proud of these students. They are so busy, and I'll apologize in advance if we slip out early because we've got homework tonight. But we're going to try to stay here and watch you in action for as long as we can. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and we welcome you. You may be seated. We have no nominations, so at this time, the chair would recognize Chairman Jim Stepp of the Calendar and Rules Committee.
Thank you, Chairman. Item 3A, approval of consent calendar items. I put that in form of motion.
Okay, we're back on board. We're going to need to do the roll call again, so would you please indicate whether you're present or absent?
Present, 0.
Okay. We are open for business again, so now, Chairman Stepp, would you make your motion again, please?
Item 3A, approval of consent calendar items. I put that in form of motion.
We have a motion. We have, let's get a second first before I recognize you, Mr. Goen.
It was a mistake. I hit the wrong.
A mistake, okay. We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
Item 3B, approval of regular calendar items. I put that in form of motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 3B, 14 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved.
That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Stepp, and on behalf of the commission and myself, I want to thank you for the excellent job that you've done as the chairman of our Calendar and Rules Committee.
Thank you, sir.
At this time, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Doty has moved. Commissioner Cookshaw has second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 4A, 14 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion is approved. At this time, the commission would entertain comments from the audience regarding agenda items only. We do have a request for 5 minutes from Mrs. Linda Noe. Ms. Noe, you're recognized.
Thank you, Linda Noe, Joe Stevens Road. I'd like to talk about your monthly checks briefly.
Let's hold on just a minute, Ms. Noe. Is that mic on? It is on?
No, I said, is it not?
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix it.
Huh?
Thank you,
Thank you.
appreciate
Sorry
that.
about that.
Okay. Linda Noe, Joe Stevens Road. I'd like to talk about item 8A, your monthly checks. Again, you're going to be approving checks that have already been written, cut, mailed, perhaps some of them have been cashed already. Knock yourself out. The Justice Center Project, 8B, the approval of change order 6 for another $203,000 on the jail, with more to come, and of course, prior increases. Skipping to that, then we go down to 8H. Now your hiring somebody to help you legally with the problems at the jail. I want to applaud you for that. I would wish you had done that about $300,000 ago. But yes, you need somebody desperately that has expertise in this area and that can advise you. Just be sure you ask the right questions. Back to monthly checks for a second, or in the consent calendar, you have your county attorney's bills. You refuse to find out whether he is still billing you a second time for attendance at this meeting and the Finance Committee meetings. That, to me, is abhorrent in a leader and someone responsible for millions of dollars, and yet you won't ask a simple question, and I don't know if he's here today. Of course, we know he'll get paid whether he's here or not. It's just when he's here, sometimes he gets paid twice. When are you going? And I think the next commission will take care of this, but why have you sat there for 3.5 years and refused to find out or refused to get legal counsel for that case? You were supposed to. Mayor Britton was supposed to bring you somebody, a recommendation, like he brought you this legal or construction attorney. He never did. And you need to see the documents related to that case. The last thing I would like to talk about on the agenda is 8I, purchase of the health department by the Emergency Communication District. That was first brought up way back in February. I think it was, maybe March, but I think it was February. And they were offering to pay the match, the state match, so that the county didn't have to pay it directly. I remember Mr. Hahn asked an excellent question at that meeting. What is the value of the building? And I'm going off recollection. I didn't go back to look, but I think it was about $1.5 million. Mr. Hahn, if you can correct me if I'm wrong or if you recall. But what you're going to get from them, from the Emergency Communication District, is about $1.1 million, whatever the match is. Why are you giving away $400,000? Now, I know you can do it, but when we've got roads and problems like that, that $400,000 could pave over a mile of road. And the Emergency Communication District has the money. Why are you giving roughly $400,000 away when the county could use that money? As I say, I know you can do it. The question so often is, should you do it? Kind of like doing away with the 10-day rule like you would do instead of keeping it in place. It wasn't can you get rid of the 10-day rule or suspend it. It's should you, or should you look at contracts and have 10 days. So I say all that knowing exactly what will happen today, because the man behind the scenes has spoken. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Do we have anyone else who wishes to address the commission? You'll have 3 minutes.
Edna Green, 4981 Cameron Road. I'd like to address the one on the change order for the jail. When we started this out about 2 years ago, take a look at the back of my shirt, $75 million, and said that we were lying about it. Now it's up to $103 million. This last change order is ungodly, to say the least of the matter. I was talking with a young man before this started tonight. You are going to burden our children and our grandchildren with a humongous burden when you should be good stewards and ask questions. I sat through the presentation of this with the committee meeting. Not one of you questioned it completely. You did ask a few questions, and thank you for the ones that did. But for God's sakes, if I built jails, I know it takes hinges on doors. I'm a mere woman, and I know that much. So my question to you is, where the God's name is the person that's accountable for this? Why are you not making them account for it? And why are you just doling out the money without asking any questions? Some of you have not been good stewards. Some of you have. I would hope that you would start asking questions. Hopefully to God. For the change that needs to come and Hamblen County to have money to work on their roads without raising property taxes, some of you are going to have to step up and act like men and women and do what's right. Now, some of you have failed that test severely, and for you folks, I hope you do better the next coming years. I hope you're more accountable for how you do and how you represent Hamblen County citizens. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Do we have anyone else who wishes to address the commission?
Scott Cutshaw, 1336 Brookfield Drive, Morristown, Tennessee. You know, years ago, I used to be a contractor. I put a bid in on a job. I put my incidentals, everything, and I added a little bit of padding on the end of that contract to ensure that I had the money and I was going to be able to make money on the job that I did. We started this bid off with building a jail over here for $65 million. We're up to $103 million and still adding on. I've never heard of a contract, especially a municipal contract, being signed without a date of completion where you had to pay a fine if you didn't get it done in a timely fashion, and an open end to come back and get more money anytime you need anything extra, or oops, we forgot, or uh-oh, wait a minute, we forgot about that. Yeah, well, we got this extra. Well, this guy right over here has been sitting. We're going to have to pay him, so you're going to have to pay us more money. You all signed a contract. You're the stewards for this county. You're over all of our taxpayers' money. You sign a contract with somebody, make them stand behind their contract. Don't you be their little piggy bank and keep giving more money. They bid that contract. If they forgot about something, that's on them, not on us taxpayers and you all. I apologize about being abrupt, but this is the third time that we've come back to the well to dig a little deeper. And somewhere it's got to stop. I said back in 2019 that it was going to cost $85 million to get this jail built. Me and Bill Britton, our mayor, and Chris Capps is standing and talking. There's no way it'll cost $85 million, I was told. It's going to cost about $55 million. I said the indecision and the lack of ability for anybody to be proactive and our commission being reactive set ourselves up. Y'all could have been heroes if y'all had voted on this in 2018 or 19 and made everybody mad about a $65 million jail. But by waiting to make your decision, we've run into a situation where everything has went up and our costs have doubled. It's not your fault that everything went up, but it is your fault that you were elected to make a decision. You did not make a decision, and we, the taxpayers, are paying for your indecision. I apologize for my abruptness, and I apologize for saying this in front of our kids. I just hope that the next commission that comes in is proactive instead of reactive and having to make a decision. Let's look forward at what's going on. With this new jail, the only option you've got is to do about a 5-cent increase a year to try to get ahead of what it's going to cost for this labor, or we're going to be in real big trouble if you have to raise taxes 20, 25 cents all at one time. Let's think about our people.
Your comments are up. Okay. Do we have anyone else who wishes to address the commission? excuse me, just as she's coming, Mr. Vice Chair, I've got to yield the chair for just a minute. I'm receiving a very, very important phone call I've got to take.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead.
Gwen Holden, 8150 West Point Drive. They were talking about a $103 million jail. That's not true. You got to add your interest onto that. So when you add your interest onto that of $103 million jail, it winds up being a $169 million jail. Then, we're not through with change orders yet. The next committee meeting, he's going to come back for some more. So, I don't know what's going to happen with the new commission, but I feel sorry for the taxpayers. And we worked all of our life. I'm 74-year-old. I worked all my life. And I can't even get my road paid. I can't. And I mean, it's not right to raise our taxes and just pave a few roads. You should have to pave all roads when you raise our taxes. Then everybody benefits. But this jail, I thank God I've never been in jail. And I don't want to go. Not even to a $169 million jail. I think it's a shame that what our nation has become. It's a shame. And God is looking down on it. And he is going to be the judge. Not us. Not me. God. And I feel sorry for us.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody else want to address? Seeing none? We'll move on to, give me just a second.
Excuse me just a minute. I apologize, but I have got to leave. I've got a very, very sick wife, and they're wanting her in the hospital immediately, so
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Good luck with her. I'd like to suspend the county commission meeting. We're going to open back up as a beer board. Okay, there's a beer permit for Nolechucky River Enterprises. Do I have any comments for the beer, about the beer permits from anybody? Would you like to?
Stacy Wilson, we're the new owners of the Nolechucky Vineyard Wedding and Events, and we're new here. Nice to meet you guys. We put in an application to be able to have beer at the vineyard. We just realized that it would be easier for us to be able to control the venue if we could have the beer permit to be able to control that aspect of the venue.
Okay. Okay. Do I have any comments on the other beer permit? Beer permit for K&H Investments, LLC. Anybody here? You want to speak?
My name is Kareem Bukhani. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. Applied for the beer permit for the store on Inca Highway.
Okay.
I mean, how this works, you know.
Okay.
You guys have any questions for me?
Anybody? Seeing none? Okay, thank you. On beer, we do this at the same time.
They've had a beer permit, they just changed owners.
Okay, we're going to close the beer permit body. And we're going to open back up as county commission. Do I have a motion on the first beer permit?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Do I have a second? We got a second? All in, go ahead and make your vote. We're doing this on the board? Yeah, okay. Go ahead and vote. Good. I would just-
9 yea, 4 nay.
Motion passes. The beer permit on K&H Investments. Do I have a motion? Or go ahead and. We're voting.
Go ahead, Ken.
I need a motion.
Do we,
Motion to approve.
yeah, motion. Second.
We have a second.
Okay. Now we're voting.
Seven yea, 6 nay.
Motion passes. No? No, Motion does not pass.
Let's see. Shipper own, you still have to have. Can we get clarification on that with Chairman Shipley's gone, and we have 13 members present, and we still need 8 for the majority, is that correct? Okay.
Correct. Correct. Motion fails. Okay. Chairman Randy DeBoer on the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Recognized.
Item 8A, the approval of the monthly checks, and I'll put that in the form of a motion.
I can't hear you. Correct. Yours didn't pass. What you need to do is you're going downstairs another time and try this again. Okay? I don't know. You didn't have enough votes to pass it.
All I can do is apply, right? Nothing's
Yeah,
gonna change
correct.
for the next meeting.
Correct. So you need, when you can, you need to go downstairs and reapply. We gotta have 8 votes to pass that.
I understand, sir. But I would just like to know the reason for it not being approved.
Well,
My background check's good. They already sell beer.
I understand.
You know, I've done everything that
Go,
needs to be
go
done.
downstairs and they'll talk to you about it and then they'll reapply. You can reapply.
Will I be sent a letter stating why it was not approved?
Excuse me, sir, they don't have to give a reason. They took a vote, and the vote did not pass your beer permit. So what he's telling you is you have to resubmit, and they will, at some date, will take another vote, and at that time, it may pass, it may fail again. They don't have to give a reason. They voted, and it failed.
Just go downstairs, okay, and they'll,
The office is open downstairs?
not now, it's not, no.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Chairman DeBoer.
Item 8A, approval of the monthly checks, and I'll put that in the form of a motion.
I'll second, Chairman.
Got a second?
Voting on the board. It's up. Joe?
Item 8A, 12 yea, 1 nay.
Item 8B, 1, approval of the change order number 6 for Mosley Architects for 203-326, and I put that in the form of a motion.
They didn't bring it up.
Got a motion, got a second?
Second. It's already done on board.
We're voting.
Item 8B1, 8 yea, 5 nay.
Item 8C, opioid settlement money approval to appropriate $500,000 to Regional Recovery Center for opioid settlement fund. I put that in the form of a motion.
Is that a second?
Second.
You got one.
Yes. Item 8C, 12 yea, 1 nay.
Item 8D, RFQ for architectural services for Hamblen County Government. Approval to retain Barbara McMurray Architects for the new Health Department building, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a request to speak? Go ahead, Wayne. Go ahead.
Okay, This health department, we're getting so much money from the state. We're getting so much money from 911. When we buy the land, we don't know what it's gonna cost yet. What if we build this building and we got change notices on in? Where we gonna get that additional money to build that with? And we know change notices come. I mean, who's gonna pick up the tab? The county gonna pick it up? Or is 911 gonna pick it up? Who's gonna pay for that? 'Cause right now, we don't know what that new health department is gonna cost us. They've not bid it out yet. We don't know anything else about it. We don't know what the land's gonna cost us.
Well, I think that when the time comes, we're just gonna have to sit down with them and hash all that stuff out.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
Ashley Lyons, the director of the health department, just informed me that any cost that there's any cost overrun over the contract, which we don't have the contract yet, but we've got the commitment letter from the State Department of Health. Any overruns would be paid by the State Department of Health.
The state will put more money into it. Okay.
Good. Thank you.
That'll be in writing, I guess, won't it?
Of course.
That's easy to get one.
We're voting.
My battery run down.
Wait just a second. We got another glitch with our computers here.
They sell them batteries at Walmart.
They have an education class on those computers too.
Item 8D, 12 yea, 1 nay.
Motion passes.
Item 8E, bid tabulation 2022 for public official bond, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a second.
Do we have a second? We're voting.
Item 8E, 13 yea, 0 nay.
Motion passes.
Item 8F for the JAG application, Resolution 2221, a resolution authorizing Hamblen County to make application for the federal year 2022 Edward Byrne Memorial JAG interlocking interlocal agreement between City of Morristown and Hamblen County. And this is for the Burn Justice Assistance Grant Program Award. And I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. We're voting.
Item 8F, 13 yeas, 0 nay.
Motion passes.
Item 8G1, Fund 101, Archives and Preservation of Records for $6,580, and that's for the purchase of microfilm, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Have a motion, have a second. We're vote.
Item 8G1, 13 yeas, 0 nay.
Motion passes.
Item G2, Fund 101 for the County Clerk's Office for $10,000. That is for data processing equipment, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. We're voting. Joe?
Item 8G2, 13 yeas, 0 nay.
Motion passes.
Item 8G3, Fund 131 for Highway Department. That's for $156,433.75, and this is for paving, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. We're voting.
Item 8G3, 12 yeas, 1 nay.
Motion passes.
Item 8G4, Fund 131 for Highway Department, $30,000 for road striping, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. We're voting.
Item 8G4, 13 yeas, 0 nay.
Motion passes.
Item 8G5, Fund 101, Capital Projects Paving. This is moving what was left from last year to this year, and it is also for paving projects, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. We're voting.
Item 8G5, 12 yeas, 1 nay.
Motion passes.
Item 8H, Legal Services for construction issues. This is the approval to retain Adrian Anderson of Anderson Busby, PLLC of Knoxville, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. We're voting.
Item 8H, 13 yeas, 0 nay.
Motion passes.
Item 8I, Purchase of Health Department Building by Emergency Communications District, Resolution 2220A, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. We're voting.
We have a speaker.
Okay, Chris?
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair. I was wondering if we could speak to Director Carpenter. I have a couple of questions that I'd like to address in this.
Yes, I have no problem.
Good evening, Director.
Commissioner, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here. There's a couple of things. With this, there's a lot of open-ended questions here. Could you, your square footage of your current building, roughly, do you have any idea what that is?
Well, we're currently located in a county building.
Yes,
And
yes.
we're located in a portion of it. We operate out of a portion of that.
Right.
And the portion that we are operating in is somewhere between 2,200 square feet.
Right, I got you. You're cramped, and not really where I'm getting at, but the building that you're going to purchase, and it appears, it's a good buy for everyone, and but it's like 14,000 square feet. So you're going from 2,100 to 14,000 square feet.
We certainly hope so.
I guess my question, can you give us some examples of how you intend to use all that space? We have other needs in the county as well, and, we just want to make sure we're doing the right thing.
I can. we have been in the space, which we're thankful for, since 911 became, since it began in 1990. And we took our first telephone call in January of 1990. So for almost 33 years, we've been in that same space. And there's been a massive amount of technology and personnel and administrative upgrades and training needs that we've had seen over the last 3 decades. And so the need for that space would be not only for administrative areas where we are woefully out of space for office space and those things that are needed, our finance department, our human resources, because we do not outsource that to city or county. We're doing all that in-house. So our administrative areas need to grow. There's a need for our answering point and dispatch operations to be larger than what they are now, as well as some room for growth as the county continues to grow and as our call volume continues to go up. We have no space currently to do quality assurance, which is what we're doing. We're having to share space for that now. We serve as the NCIC terminal agency for both Sheriff's Department and the Morristown Police Department. That operation and that filing would take some of that space. We have no place at this time to do any training, any testing, any meetings, any conferencing. So that training area and meeting space is woefully needed. From the time we began until where we are now, obviously technology has advanced so much that we are in desperate need for areas where we're going to expand our server room, for our IT and networking, for our telephony. In 1990, it was as simple as having a demarc room for where the telephone lines were able to come in, because it was that simple. Us being a next generation 911 center that's receiving now text messages, and very shortly in the future, we believe we'll have the ability to receive video and photos and that sort of thing, requires networking, increased server space that we just do not have for that type of operation. Placement for our generators and for our uninterrupted power supplies and for the cabinetry. And then the truth is we don't even have a closet where we are now. So we need storage. We have no place for archival storage. And so all of those things, as we've mentioned before when we first pitched this, is the need for that space. If you have been in the current 911 center, you understand our constraints. If you have been in the current health department, you probably also understand the floor plan that is there as well. So on the upper level, you have that conference room, which we would hope to be able to use for training and to be able to make a training facility and room there with some administrative offices currently there. And then downstairs in that area, if we were to acquire that building, able to do so, we're going to have to look at how our new operations for dispatch and PSAP would be done there. And then you've got some rooms around that. But I can assure you that there's going to be an extensive need for remodeling on the part of 911.
Sure.
Once we acquire that building, in order to make that available in the right fashion for us to be able to house that equipment, for us to be able to provide the right space in the right place for all of that networking and all of those things, which is going to take up that kind of a half ring of offices or rooms that are around those large sections in the middle.
Is there any room for community use? I mean, is that something that you would use, like bringing in other entities, emergency management, and do training of some sort there as well? Can it be a multi-purpose
I think that we certainly
use?
would hope for, when we have the ability to have that training, we certainly would make that available to all of our client agencies, city and county agencies, emergency management, the sheriff's department, police department. I know they certainly have more and better facilities on their own. But for our volunteer fire departments, for other training that may be necessary, we would gladly make that, our training room available to other emergency responders and other entities that may need a training room or a session or some type of thing for meeting places. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Chief, in your opinion, is this going to make the community a lot safer?
I think that any time, Commissioner Ward, that we can invest in public safety and do so that makes that public safety entity more efficient and more productive, I think that that benefits the public in the long run. And yes, I believe that that's what's happening here.
You and I go back a long way. I hope you get what you need because you provide what we need in a heartbeat. Keep up good work.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. We're voting.
My battery's dead.
We got
Been to Walmart.
Mine won't do anything.
It was just a second again.
Yeah.
These computers.
It's gonna keep doing that.
What's wrong
We
with
can
this?
make it through that.
Yeah, that-
Okay, we're voting. You're all locked in.
Item 8I, 13 yea, 0 nay.
Motion passes.
That's all I have, Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman.
Chairman Goins, may I say something?
Sure.
I want to tell Commissioner of the Board, he's done a very good job with the Finance Committee, and I appreciate him very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Item 9, Public Service Committee, 9A, Resolution 2219, a resolution to approve the policies and procedures for the 2022 home grant. And I put that in form of a motion. Second? Now we're voting. Randy, Chris?
I'm trying.
Oh.
Now he can't vote.
Come on. Hey, you got this figured out yet? It's trying to sign onto the server.
We can't, Randy's.
But it's not. It's connecting. It didn't connect.
Oh, no.
Chair, as acting chair, you can't make a motion.
Nope.
Okay.
You're
Vice Chair.
committee vice chair.
That's right, that's right. I can't make that motion.
Thank you, Bill.
Well, we can't vote.
Randy, would you mind making that motion if,
I make that motion.
okay, if we get your thing fixed?
Yeah, if we can get my device right.
Okay, we're going to back up a little bit. We're going to do this one off the board.
Item 9A, Jeff Aker,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Randy DeBoer,
Yes.
Thomas Doty.
Yes.
Tim Goins.
Aye.
Bobby Hahn.
Aye.
Tim Horner.
Yes.
Joe Huntsman.
Aye.
Eileen Arnwine.
Yes.
Mike Reed.
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith.
Yes.
Jim Stepp.
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yep.
13 yea.
Motion passes. I turn this over to Jim Stepp. Go ahead, Jim.
Item 9B, Surplus Items Narcotics Division, I put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second? We're voting.
Jeff Aker.
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw.
Aye.
Randy DeBoer.
Yes.
Thomas Doty.
Yes.
Tim Goins.
Aye.
Bobby Hahn.
Aye.
Tim Horner.
Yes.
Joe Huntsman.
Yes.
Eileen Arnwine.
Yes.
Mike Reed.
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith.
Yes.
Jim Stepp.
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yep.
That's 13 yea, 0 nay.
Motion passes.
Item 9C, Surplus Items for the Sheriff's Department, I put that in form of a motion.
Got a motion,
Second.
got a second?
Jeff Aker.
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw.
Aye.
Randy DeBoer.
Yes.
Thomas Doty.
Yes.
Tim Goins.
Aye.
Bobby Hahn.
Aye.
Tim Horner.
Yes.
Joe Huntsman.
Yes.
Eileen Arnwine.
Yes.
Mike Reed.
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith.
Yes.
Jim Stepp,
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yes.
13 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
Item 9D, surplus items for county clerk's office. I put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second.
Jeff Aker,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Randy DeBoer,
Yes.
Thomas Donnie,
Yes.
Tim Goins,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Hudson.
Yes.
Eileen Arnwine,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Jim Stepp,
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
Yes.
13 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
Item 9E, newly adopted recreational vehicle regulations approval to rescind amendment to zoning ordinance resolution 22-17. I put that in form of a motion.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second?
Wish to speak, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Does this, the way this reads, it's only rescinding the amendment. Does this rescind the entire motion made by the planning commission? Okay, just to make it, because it just says rescind, to rescind amendment.
Yeah, the motion was an amendment to the zoning regulations. The whole thing was an amendment to the zoning regulations.
Okay.
So that's what it's referring to.
Okay.
We have a second? We have a second? We're voting.
Jeff Aker,
No.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Randy DeBoer,
Yes.
Thomas Donnie,
No.
Tim Goins,
Aye.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Hudson,
Yes.
Eileen Arnwine,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Wayne Neesmith,
No.
Jim Stepp,
Yes.
Taylor Ward.
No.
4 nays, 9 yeas.
Motion passes.
That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. Item number 10, public comments. It's general non-agenda items only. Do I have any? Yes.
I'm Peggy Howell, 504 Howell Road, Morristown. I want to thank Mr. Stepp for complimenting Mr. DeBoer, because what I have enjoyed is when we get to those items under budget amendments, you explain them. If you've ever been to a 4-H event, the judge, you line up the 3 best cows, the 3 best hogs, whatever you've got there, and he studies them, and he hands out those ribbons, and then everybody claps, but then he explains why number 3 got the yellow ribbon, why the second place got second place, the conformity, the shape, the shine on the coat. And I look at this body, the only difference between this body and us is that rail. We are all in Hamblen County, and soon others will be stepping forward to conserve that money and look out for Hamblen County citizens. And I just appreciate the work that those have done and have been here and have served. And being here at several of the meetings, the issues y'all take on are immense, and the task is daunting. And for me, the learning curve is like this. So it was good to see that you needed somebody to remind you, because that's going to happen in the future. Yeah. So thank you for the work you've done, those that are leaving, and appreciate the explanations that come forth and the questions, Mr. Cutshaw, Mr. Ward, that y'all bring forth, and Mr. Neesmith. Thank y'all.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else?
Edna Green, 4981 Cameron Road. Some of you will be leaving us. I'd like to acknowledge the ones that I really appreciate. Mr. Aker, appreciate your vote on the free speech. I, for one, am a firm believer that that's what people fought and died for in the war. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Neesmith. I know that you'll be staying with us, and I thank God for it tonight. And I know we had two other that voted not to sue the citizens of Hamblen County for free speech, and I want to thank you. For you that will be leaving, some of you, I hope you do better for the citizens that you have tried to serve in the future. For you that will be staying, please stand up for the constitutional right of the citizens of Hamblen County to speak. Please don't try to shut them down. Please welcome them with open arms. Please listen. Please do something about it. I have been here several years. I've asked questions over the years. Very seldom have I gotten an answer. We are, as one of the new commissioners that will take their seat in September after we're sworn in the 29th of this month, I intend to serve the citizens of Hamblen County. I am not here to be anybody's buddy. I am here to watch out for the citizens of Hamblen County. I would like to see more accountability for you that are staying. Please step up to the plate and be men and women and do what you are supposed to do. Vote like the folks put you in. We're hoping that you would do. And if you have no intention of standing up for the citizens in your district, please go home and stay there. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to comment on the beer board, the vote. The difference you made in the two people was very obvious. And if there are reasons, I mean, the man wasn't illegally here in this country. If there is more to it that you're not saying out loud, that's not right. How is he supposed to find out? Why? I expected 4 people to vote no. I did already expect that, but then he would still get his beer permit. But the other people, besides the usual 4, that voted no, if there was no good reason, it looked very racist.
Anyone else?
Chairman, I'm Danny Bell, 6041 Beacon Light Road, Whitesburg. I want to thank you for the money that you appropriated to help us on the roads. Just to put a bug in your ear, if we want to pave all the roads in Hamblen County, set aside $50 million and we will get started, okay? Final note is this. Mr. Shipley had to leave. His wife is serious. She's having lots of health problems, and I ask you to pray for her tonight. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I may not have realized it, but I have 5 minutes. I would like to start with the health department. I was not opposed to the health department. It was a matter of, are you getting a fair price, a payment for it? And now that we've found that the state is going to cover any overrun, how about we go for the Taj Mahal Health Department? Can't just send the bill to the state. Humor, sort of. What I'd really like to talk to tonight is about the First Amendment. As you all know, many of you voted to sue the citizens of Hamblen County over a piece of foam on a shirt. I want these students to see this.
Would you tell a judge what Judge Jenkins told you?
I've got my 5 minutes. You want to? Yeah, you better watch it.
I ain't watching anymore.
Jim.
Bring it on.
It's on.
Bring it on, Jim.
Keep it down, Jim.
But it all started with a shirt. And the next thing you know, Mr. Shipley's apologizing. We accepted the apology. But the apology was, or the admission was later denied. And then it became an issue of a piece of foam. And 9 of you decided to sue citizens who wanted to have a piece of foam on their shirt, sewn on in some cases, pinned on in other cases, with a ribbon in other cases. You need to talk to your mayor. Find out what he was told after that vote. I think that explains why you never sued, why it was just a vote to intimidate and attack and accuse people. And then we have Mr. Goldman's lawsuit. I don't know where that one is. You voted to have a declaratory judgment about whether a sheriff's deputy or a constable could enforce the rules of this body, rules that you don't even know what you have. Case in point, Mr. Britton gets up and says, hey, you're acting as chairman, you can't make a motion. I'm trusting this next commission will bring forth rules and we'll codify them. We'll put them into a book like the city does, as Jim Stepp knows. And you'll know what the rules are and where to find them. But the most important thing that I have to say tonight is the Constitution is supreme. And those of you who don't respect the Constitution, who don't understand freedom of speech, read the little books we passed out. Go back to your history lessons. And for Pete's sake, stand up for the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody else?
I know why y'all didn't sue us. I called Mr. Curtis, Charles Curtis, C-Task, who's over the of teaching people the rules. And he's the state guy that's over it. And Mr. Britton didn't tell us that Charles had called him and told him what the rules were. As long as you're not holding up a sign, as long as you're not hiding people's view to where they can see, as long as you don't have an object that doesn't hurt anyone, you are entitled to wear whatever you want to wear. Ask Mr. Curtis. He'll tell you. And I talked to him again. Too bad Mr. Britton didn't tell y'all what Mr. Charles Curtis said, and that I, a plain, ordinary citizen, had to tell you what he said.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman?
Sir?
May I address?
Yes, go ahead.
I'd like to, number one, thank the youth of leadership being here today. It's awesome that you guys come in here and you get to see. Now, tonight was a commission meeting. It's not our work session. Our work session takes place mostly 10 days prior. That's when all of our discussion for most things is discussed. That's when we ask more questions. I just want you to know it doesn't always happen the way it happens at our commission meetings. We've already done the background work. We've had our packets for 10 days. We've done our research and prepared to vote. And everything you hear, there's always two sides of the story, and we're always here to answer those questions. But during public comments, we don't do that. We sit here, we try to conduct the business of the county, but we're glad you're here, and if you have any questions, we're all available for those discussions. Thank you again for being here, Darrell. Mr. Bunch?
I would like to also thank you all for being here, and you're welcome here anytime. You come with the school, that's fine. If you want to come on your own, that's fine, but you are welcome, always welcome here, because this is your county, your commission. And so you call us, you can come by, stop in, whatever you want to do. Now, I would like to say something before we adjourn here. I want to thank each and every commissioner here. You've done an outstanding job. And the ones who are staying, I hope you continue to do an outstanding job. It's going to be a little bit rougher, okay? Randy, great job. You did the finance committee well.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
And Jim, great job. You've done great this whole time you've been up here. Thank you very much for doing that.
Good to serve with you guys.
Okay. And the rest of you who's leaving, who's else is leaving? Eileen, you've done great. Thank you for you. Taylor, thank you for the job you've done. We really appreciate it. This is our last our meeting, and so next meeting we'll have the new county commissioners up here. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, we've got some special presentations that we're going to
Oh,
make.
okay.
Okay, if you can just kind of hold on before dismissing us.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that, so yes, no problem.
We've got three full-time county officials who are retiring, and we want to recognize them as well as the commissioners who are leaving. If Judge Snyder will come forward.
Presided over an unprecedented growth in juvenile court cases in our county. And also, you served as the judge for our misdemeanor. That's right. So we want to just honor you with this framed picture with your name and position, and just congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you to all of you, and I'm just going to turn and address each one of you individually. You have supported me, you have helped me, you have supported our court system. You have all been my friends through the years. I cannot thank you enough for what you have done to promote the welfare of our children in this community and our court system. I want to say a special thank you really quickly, though, to Thomas Doty, who was my first court security officer. When I first became general sessions judge, he is part of the reason that we now have court security, because I did orders of protection. I was juvenile magistrate for 16 years, I was city judge for 6 years, I was sessions judge for 16 years, juvenile judge for 8. But I also did orders of protection as part of my original general sessions board, and we were in the little courtroom downstairs. One morning, a gentleman brought a loaded gun to my order of protection court. And after that, David Perky instituted court security, and Thomas Doty was my first security officer. And I want to thank you.
Thank you, Judge Snyder.
Thank you to all of you.
I'd like to say just one thing real quick, too, if I may. I want to thank you because it's been 13 years ago, but Judge Snyder was gracious enough that she sentenced my wife and I to life as husband and wife right here in this courtroom, right in front of this bench, before she turned and struck the gavel. And I'm proud she did that, because it's not as easy for her to get out of it now, because she'd have to get a pardon from the governor.
Thank you. Anyway, thanks to all of you.
Lieutenant Jimmy Mullins, too.
Excuse me.
We want to recognize the sheriff as the elected chief law enforcement officer for Hamblen County and for the last 16 years. And so he's had that responsibility and has built his department based on his philosophy of modern, you say,
Of modernizing, yeah, making it the most efficient as possible. And we want to thank the sheriff, and Sheriff appreciates you and what you've done.
I'd like to say a few words, and this will be the last time probably I will speak in this courtroom. And I would like to share with you one evening when I really stuck my foot in my mouth, because I was standing right over here, and for year after year after year, I would say, "Hear, hear ye. The Hamblen County Court is now in session. Everybody please stand." And I would look and I'd say, "The Honorable Stansfield Ford presiding." And I did that day, and some of you was here. And I said that, and I looked, Stansfield ain't sitting over there. We had a new chairman, and it didn't register with me until I looked at him, and I went stone ignorant. I could not, Rick Eldridge is who it was, the state representative. I could not think of his name to save my life. And he looked at me, and he knew that I hadn't pulled the ripcord yet. So he said, "Rick Eldridge." Rick Eldridge. So if you never had an embarrassing moment, then I commend you. But let me say this, 16 years has been a long time. Some of you think that's too long, and I agree with you, so I'm leaving, okay? But it's been a roller coaster ride. I know the Sheriff's Department is better off with the employees that we have now, with the county commissioners that have worked with us. We have never totally agreed with everything, but I want to say one thing. I have no animosity towards any of you. I appreciate the job you do, and like some lady said, you have a really tough, difficult job, because sometimes when you make a decision, some people don't know why you made that decision, but I think you made it from your heart. So that's all I got to say. Thank you for coming.
For those who don't know me, my name's Jimmy Mullins, Bill forgot one part, retired from the county. And I have the honor to present Esco Ray Yarnigan, Sheriff of Hamblen County, this plaque, and it reads as follows. You have performed your duties beyond all expectations. Your leadership has established integrity, accountability, and professionalism. By your wisdom and the help of your employees, our community is a safer and better place to live and raise our families. Your vision to modernize the Sheriff's Department has been accomplished by better pay, training, equipment, and the latest in technology. Since 1870, at the birth of the Sheriff's Department, you are the only sheriff to have the honor of serving 16 consecutive years. Thank you for your many sacrifices and accomplishments. Job well done. Now enjoy your family, making memories. You will be missed. May God bless you. We'll go ahead to Howard County.
The last full-time official who's retiring this year is Kenny Caddy. She couldn't be here today. She's our county clerk, and so we'll get this picture. And she served as county clerk from 2016 to 2022, but before that, she was the chief deputy for Linda Lyle for many years. And so we really appreciate what Kenny has done. You guys want to get some? One thing I want to do, we want to recognize the county commissioners who are leaving office, and I personally work closely with the county commission and bring them ideas as far as policy or programs or budget items to help move our county forward, and sometimes they're adopted and sometimes they're not. What I wanted to do just before we recognize those who are leaving is want to list some of the accomplishments that this county commission specifically has dealt with. And one, it's tackled a lot of the big issues, and one is the Justice Center. And this commission took a 40 to 50-year approach to fixing an issue that has been plaguing us for a couple of decades. And so they were brave enough to do that. They also helped update West High School, appropriating $10.5 million to renovate West High, expand the cafeteria, add some restrooms, do some infrastructure fixes to the high school, and make the West High a better place for learning. And then they funded the construction of the new Lincoln Elementary School, which isn't underway yet, but they put the funding in place for that. And they've done all those capital projects as well as managed the finances of the county over the last 4 years by maintaining one of the lowest property tax rates in East Tennessee, by also doubling or nearly doubling the reserves in the general fund from about $5.5 million to $10.5 million, and funded, like Jimmy mentioned, in the plaque of the sheriff, funding and supporting law enforcement and the sheriff's department, and applying or supplying equipment, pay raises for his folks, providing new equipment, new crews for sanitation and highways, and giving them tools to get their job done, because that's what the county commission's job is to give each of the departments the tools they need to get their job done. And gentlemen and lady, I just want to thank you for your contribution to Hamblen County and the relationship that we've been able to develop in working together and moving this county forward. Scotty, just a picture. Tim, if you'll come down, please. Tim Goins served on the commission for 12 years since 2010. And Tim, we want to thank you for your service.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Taylor, you'll come. Taylor Ward, he's my commissioner in the 2nd District, and Taylor served 2 terms on the commission since 2014. Taylor, we want to thank you. Randy DeVore has served the commissioner since the 8th District since 2014, has chaired finance for much of that time, and has been a valuable contributor to the commission. Randy, thank you Eileen has served as commissioner of the 14th District for 3 years and has been a valuable member of the commission. And Eileen, just want to thank you for being a part of this body. Jeff has served as commissioner of the 10th District for the last 4 years, and Jeff, we're just real proud of your service, and we appreciate what you've done for him. Jim Stepp has served as commissioner of the 11th District for the last 4 years. And Jim, appreciate you and your insight and your contribution. And then, as Danny Bell mentioned, if you will please keep Howard Shipley, he's been the chair for the last several years of the commission. Keep him and his family in your prayers. But Linda is not doing well, and you'll just say a prayer for Linda and Howard and their family. So this plaque will go in let's get one group picture. Yep. Whole group.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We're adjourned. Oh, wait, before we do, all county commissioners, can you come over to this corner right here? Everybody, new, old, in between, just for the county commissioners. Sure. Sure. And that's what we're going to do over here, a photo also, right? Yeah.
Here, stay right here.